Okay, in this video I'll show you how to do wireframe rendering. This is good for if you want to put on your wheel. Okay, show wireframe. Okay, now I know that there are a lot of tutorials out there that show how to do wireframe rendering. However, what makes mine different is that with my technique you don't have to bring into Photoshop or After Effects and put them in different layers of that and composite. You can do all this in Maya. Okay, let me show you how. And then also with my technique, I'll show you how to transition from texture to wireframe and back like that. So that way you don't have to rely on compositing software like After Effects. Okay, I'm gonna create. I don't have a model. I'm just going to create a sphere, and I'm going to move up. That. Hit 5 on my keyboard. Okay, now I'm going to hit Shift T to open the assign new material. I'm going to hit the blend, and right now since I don't have any texture, let's say this is a character and you already have a texture on it, so I'm going to assign my own texture. Click on the checkerboard next to color, click on file, and make sure you're in the file tab and hit the yellow folder. I'm going to go to my computer and look for my pictures right here. I think I want the fish. Open. Okay, now if you press 6 on your keyboard, you should be able to see it's a picture of the koi fish. Okay, so right there, here's my koi fish, big eyes. So okay, now next is you need to go into Hypershade. I already create one custom Hypershade right here. You can go to Window, Rendering, Hypershade. Okay, so click on that. Click on the blend you just created, and you can use blend or Lambert, doesn't matter, and hit this one, input output. Okay, there it is. And then I need to make sure the blend is selected again and hit input output because I want the shader group right here. Okay, so now double click on this one. Okay, make sure you're not in the not in the blend tab but the shader group. Okay, now you open the mental array, scroll a little bit down, check contour, and now I'm going to type in 0.5, hit enter. And then also you need to do is go back up here where the render settings or render global. So make sure that you pull this one down in mental array. If you don't see mental array, you need to enable it. So you go up to right here, window, settings, preferences, and plugin manager. You scroll down till you see, or you move down here where it say Maya to mental array, Maya to mental array, and make sure you check mark both of them and then close it. So now you should be able to pull down and choose mental array. Next you need to go into the features tab. Once you click on it, it takes a while to show up, so just wait for it. Yeah, now it shows up. Open up, scroll all the way down and open the contour. Okay, and then check this one and type in number 4 right here. Hit enter. I'll explain what this does. So now I can minimize this and let me hit render. Okay, before I hit render, I'm going to go over here, click this icon, scroll all the way down, enable environment, and move the slider over so it's going to be background is going to be brighter. Now hit render. Okay, now it looks like that. You go, well, what happened to my wireframe? That's why I purposely did it so that it wouldn't show up. So let me go back to the render settings. It's very important, once you open the contour, you have to open this one also. Okay, the draw by property, and you have to check mark this one. Otherwise, if you don't check it, it will never work. Okay, you will go, why yours doesn't show up and mine does. Okay, and then now once you check mark, click close, and so now if I draw a selection box, it's there. Okay, so let me go back, let me zoom in a little bit closer, enable the render, enable resolution gate, sorry. Okay, and I'm going to hit render again, right there. So let me go back to the render settings, up here. And then remember I said this one, let's say I load down to 1, and I'll hit render, draw a section box. Okay, pay attention to the jagged line right here. Okay, so if I increase this to 4, let me click on this icon to save the image. And now if I render again, okay, now you see there's the jagged line's gone. So if I move the slider back and forth, you see the jagged line, move it back, you don't see it like that. So the oversample makes it much more clear. So what that means, it calculates 4 times more. That's why it's better. Okay, so let me close this. Another thing is what you can do is you can keyframe it when the wireframe will show up, when not to, rather than have it show all the time. So you select the object, go into channel box right here. What I want to do is add another attribute right here. Okay, so you do that either by clicking edit, add attribute, or you can go in over here where it says modify, add attribute. Either one of them is the same. Let me do this way. Add attribute. First you need to give a name. Let's say called wire. Make sure it's not cap lock. Wire on off. The minimum is the starting point. Let's say 0. The maximum, let's say I can put 1 or 10, doesn't matter. And the default, let's say it's half, which is a 5, and hit OK. So right there. Next, what I need to do is connect this part to the wireframe so that you can see it. So to do that, you have to select the object. You can't use a hypershade. You have to go into Window, Hypergraph Connection. Okay, once you do that, let me move this guy up. I'm going to middle mouse drag it from here to here. Middle mouse drag it, let go, and choose Other. Scroll all the way down, and open up Wire On Off. And then what you need to do is on this side, scroll all the way down, where it said Contour Alpha. You can check mark it. Okay. And so now let me close it. Let me minimize this. So let's say at 5, I hit render. It looks like that. And let's say if I go to 1, it looks like that. Okay. And now if I go 0, that's nothing. Okay. So you can keyframe it at 10. Should be much higher. Yeah, much higher. Okay, so you can keyframe this to be when the wireframe show up and when not to. I know that the problem here, you might say, well, sometimes the line's too thick, I don't like it. Okay, the second technique I'm going to show you is how to transition from texture to no wireframe. No wireframe to wireframe, and then how to go back. Okay, let me show you another technique. In order to use the second technique, you need to have a secondary object. So I'm going to go polygon, cylinder. I'm going to create a cylinder. So let's pretend this is the on-off switch to control this guy. So that's why I need a secondary object. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to go right here, custom, delete history, freeze transform, and center pivot. Delete history will be right here, edit, delete by type, history. Freeze transform will be right here, modify, freeze transform. That will zero out all the numbers except the scale. And then modify, center pivot will be right here. So these are my icons. So first thing I want to do is if I rotate this, press E, rotate it. I don't want to rotate beyond 90 degrees, so I'm going to set a limit. Okay, I'm going to go back here and set to 0. Go into attribute, make sure the object selected, go into attribute editor. Make sure you're in the transform node, not the shape node. So make sure you go here. Okay, open limit information. Scroll down until you see rotate. Make sure it's open. And then check mark the Y because I want to control the Y. And I want 0 to be the minimum. The maximum I want only to be 90 degrees. Enter. So now if I try to rotate it, it will not go beyond 90 or below 0. Okay. So right now it's 0, I can tell it's right here, 0. Let me go back to channel box. So now I want to control this one, have this one control this one. So select this object. You don't need to select the other one. Go to window, connection, hypergraph connection. Actually, you know what you do. So select this one, shift select the sphere, and click on this one right here, input, output. So I'm going to move the cylinder, select it, and it will show right here. What I'm going to do is connect this one to the shader group, middle mouse drag this one to here, and let go. And this time we'll scroll maybe halfway until right here you see rotate. Open up. Since I want to rotate Y, select it. And now I can scroll way down. And then I want to delete the other connection. So this time I want to connect this one to this one. So when you check mark, when you select it, the previous one is gonna be gone. Okay, so let's connect these two and close. So right now, here's my cylinder. Notice that when I do that, it will create a new unit, new node. So let me show you what it does. If I hit render again. Okay, right now it's nothing because this guy is 0. So let's say if I go to, let's say 3. Okay, I know you're going to say, well, the line is still too thick. How can I make it thinner, right? So the key is this one right here, unit conversion. Double click on it, and then if you don't see anything, make sure you're in the attribute editor. And this number by default is always 57.296. So I'll go down to 1, enter. So now if I render again, pay attention to the line. See how the line is very blurry like that. So let's say I increase to 2. Right there, it's better. Okay. So make sure this one's selected. Let's say this time let's go back to channel box. Let's say this time I go to 10. Render again. See, with this technique you can control when the wireframe will fade in and fade out. That way it's not going to be solid white like that. Okay, so let me go back to conversion unit and make sure you attribute editor. Usually I set this to 1 and 2. You could set it to 4 because right now if I select this guy and go into let's say 20 or let's say 10 and I render again, see with 4 it's much stronger, so you choose whichever way you want. Okay, so whichever best way. And so that concludes it. To review, I like this way better because this way it gives me to have a unit conversion. That way I can control when to fade in and out, whereas the other technique, like let me go back to hypershade. If I were to let's say if I were to select the object and I go in channel box, I create this way, it's always on or off, there's no transition. Okay, so of course you don't want this to show up, this object to show up when it's rendering. You can select it, go in here, visibility on off, you can hit it 0, but still you can, if I hit render, it still show up. Okay, I can hit the rotate. Since this one's selected, I can hit rotate and let's say go down to 3, render. Now it's less. Okay, I forgot to show you one more thing. I know the wireframe works only when you hit the render button. However, let's say if you want the wireframe to show up in the viewport like that without rendering, what you could do is select the object, or you don't need to select it. Go shading, go down here, wireframe unshaded. Okay, it will show up. If let's say you don't like the color, you can change the color. So you go into window, setting preferences, color settings, then under inactive you click open, and right here where it says object, open up, and then next to it right down here it says polygon surfaces. Now I can drag the slide to, let's say I want bright yellow, you let go.